Right. Right. And I guess you can call out the introduction is more or less over. Well, hello to anybody who might be watching. I'm not really getting any viewers at the moment, but let me just try and get this thing up and running, just so I can familiarize myself with it a little bit. Right. Hello, everyone. It's been Jesus. It's been a really, really, really long time since I've done any of this. In case you're wondering, hello, it's me, Sammy, otherwise known as Skullgrin140. And wow, um, where do I even begin with any of this? Because I'm just trying to get my bearings back on all this whole video making thing, because I haven't done it in a very, very, very long time. And I just figured that just for a change, I would try the whole live streaming thing, because I didn't want to just do a hello, I'm back, this is where I've been, yada 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 malarkey video, because I know that those tend to just those tend to be a little bit pointless, especially as when it comes to your absence online. If you're a video maker, then you have to kind of explain yourself and where you've been and what you've been doing and everything else. And I don't really have an excuse for being away. I've had a lot going on, and you can probably tell by the location I am not in my usual place. You don't notice a bed, you don't notice a wardrobe, you don't notice two glass cabinets of toys. And the reason for that, well, I'll get into where I've been first of all. Where I've been and what I've been doing, and where just what's been going on, because like I said before, I don't really have much of an excuse to say, except that I haven't really. Oh, okay, so I'll try and go through these in the order that they're in, just so you can kind of understand what's been going on. So let's see. Number one, the reason why I have not been doing video making is kind of a straightforward one. I kind of lost interest. I lost interest, and I didn't really feel like doing it that much anymore. Because if anybody who's familiar with this channel will know that I used to do toy reviews. I used to do the whole YouTube, Transformers YouTube thing that everybody else did at one point. And a while ago, I did it, and then I stopped doing it, and I haven't done it in, I want to say 5 or 6 years since then. And since then, I haven't really felt the need to get on camera and make videos about that anymore. So I've been just trying to get my bearings on what to do next with this channel, if there is even anything to do, because I don't know, it's very complicated, because I have kind of moved away from the whole video making thing, and I haven't really done it as much, but I have thought non-stop about wanting to get back into it. And so I figured, you know what, why not just try doing a live stream, one of these niche live stream things that often are a thing, and see where it goes. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And if I like how this turns out, maybe I might consider doing more of them. Because I'm kind of a little bit unaware of how the whole online streaming thing works. I know that a lot of people do it for games. I know a lot of people do it just to randomly just make chat videos, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But I haven't really had any. I haven't really had any interest in making videos anymore. It's because I just kind of moved away from that. And the second reason, you might notice as well, as we're talking about the location that I'm in at the moment. Okay, so just to give you an idea, this is a wall, and that's a wall. Both these two are walls. And as you can already see by the way that this office is designed, this is actually supposed to be the attic. Well, actually, it's a... Okay, so in case you haven't noticed, I'm in a new location, and that is because I've moved house. Well, you already know where this is going. So the pandemic happened, and because of that, everything went really downhill for a few years. And because of that, and so my family that I needed to take care of, and so the time had finally come for me to move house, and so I did, and now I'm not living in. I used to live in. Well, I still live in Essex. I used to live in Chelmsford, but now I've moved into the Uttlesford district, specifically in a town called Saffron Walden, which is now. It's kind of hard to describe. So the reason for moving is because the main reason being family issues. So now family has kind of really broken off, and now we are now living a little bit closer together, ish. But I'm living here now, and I've been living in this house now for a few years, and it's been pretty good. Now you might notice. Hang on. I'll just show you quickly. Yeah, exactly. So one thing you'll notice about that is the lighting in this office, specifically where the PC is. It's kind of weird because the only light that I can really get is from, I guess, the light above me, which is the light switches are over there, by the way. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the light switches are right over there, and and so the light here is very dark because aside from the two windows that you can see in the background, that's pretty much where most of the light in this office comes from. So for the moment, whenever it's during the day, I have to like be in the dark most of the time because there's no light in this little room to, I guess, really get much going through the day. But during the night, there's the light that's right next to the PC, and then of course there's the light above me. So darkness in this very small office is kind of a thing, and I have to kind of deal with that, and which explains why the backdrop for this is not as interesting, except for you can see it, my shelf. In fact, I have several shelves like this, and some of them are all downstairs in my living room, which at some point I might want to do a video about, but for the time being, I just thought I might as well just do a little live stream just to see if it takes off or not. What else? So I figured that yeah, so I moved, the pandemic hit, and I moved during all of that, which is quite a chaotic upheaval. So so there's that malarkey going on, and I don't know. Actually, hang on a second. I need to just kind of share this. Hang on a minute. Okay, so yeah, so the pilot and which was me moving, and for the moment that was fine. So it wasn't quite the best approach, but you just got to go with whatever these things prepare. So as for the whole video making thing, so I've kind of moved away a lot from doing doing the whole toy reviewing thing nowadays. I'm not that into it these days. So I've kind of moved away from that, and I want to try and start and maybe start over again. I don't know what might happen. Sorry, that's just my phone going off. No, I don't know. I really don't know, because on one hand I miss doing video making, but nowadays I'm a lot busy doing other stuff. In fact, the one thing that I wanted to show you that I kind of have been doing a lot these days, if anyone is tuning in, so this big sketchbook. Nowadays, I'm doing a lot more art, which explains why my interest in doing video making has kind of really subsided a little bit. So let me just try and show you what I've been working on at the moment. I won't show you everything, but here we go. So one of the safer things that I've done, if you can see it, there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm doing a lot more nowadays. So I'm doing a lot more art, and I'm spending a lot more time doing a lot more art, and I am taking that sketchbook with me to TF Nation this year, because I wanted to at least I wanted to at least take something with me while I'm busy, and I figured why not just try that. I've done that for the last few times I've been, and it's been pretty okay for the most part. So yeah, I've been doing a lot more of that these days, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm doing a lot more art these days, and I kind of wanted to know, and I do want to restart all this whole video making thing, and maybe try something else, because like I said, the whole toy video making thing, I enjoyed it for what it was, for what I did with it, but I kind of don't want to do it as much anymore, especially considering that nowadays, in regards to Transformers, things kind of taken a bit of a weird turn with the franchise in the 5 years. Where do I even begin with that? So okay, the last few movies have kind of been a mix of amazing and not so amazing. In particular, we had Transformers 1. And Transformers 1 was a great movie. It was a fantastic movie, and I loved every bit about that movie. The problem, however, with that movie, given, I mean, if you probably heard the whole story about this already, but uh, it bombed. It didn't do very well, and because of it bombing, and because of the bad advertising leading up to that movie, it kind of left a really bad first impression, and because of that, it pushed a lot of appeal away from certain people. And that's frustrating for me as a fan of Transformers, because I would love to see more from that franchise. But the movies themselves have kind of been like I said, a hit and a miss. Rise of the Beasts came out a year before. That was 2023, and then we had Transformers One in 2025, and of course, it bombed, as it did. So now, movies for Transformers have kind of been, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of, I remain very unsure about what the future is in regards to the movies for this franchise, because on one hand, there might be more, there might not be more, but at the same time, news always points to rumors going back to certain people coming in and saying they're going to make something else, and then other directors who have been involved in that franchise come in and then they do their things. So, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. So in regards to the movies, the franchise has kind of taken a little bit of a weird turn. Cartoons, I've kind of been a little. I don't know. I don't really know what the word is to describe the current state of the cartoons. Earthspark didn't really do it for me, and yeah, Earthspark didn't really do it for me, despite a lot of people liking it and some people really not liking it. I was kind of in the middle when it came to all of that. So like the show, don't like the show, but I'm sad that it kind of fizzled out, and with it being on Paramount Plus, didn't really help issues that much, because it didn't. I mean, when it comes to Transformers, I think they need a better distributor than just to put that particular a show or any show that comes out of that franchise on that one streaming service, because it just seems like a dumping ground where underneath every other show that is liable to gain traction on a streaming service, something like Transformers Earthspark just felt like it was there one minute and then it was just sort of gone the next. So there's that. The recent show, on the other hand, I think it's called Transformers Cyberworld, with it being a YouTube series, excuse me, it's actually pretty good. It's not for me. I'm not that interested in it, but I think when it comes to Transformers, enjoying this franchise and enjoying whatever it does, you've got to just take what you can and then appreciate what's already there, and leave what you don't want for other people to enjoy. And I mean, instead of just being angry about it, just learning to appreciate what's already there, and learning to just let some of these things go, and let other fans, especially new fans, enjoy whatever Meal Cards franchise to come along. So there's that. So I've kind of moved away a little bit from Transformers. I'm not too heavily into it as much as I used to be, which explains why I've been doing a lot of the art. So, and as for the video making, so with this, I've now been talking for 19, now I'm pushing 20 minutes, and I just kind of want to see where this goes, and if it actually goes anywhere, and if anybody would like to see anything from me and all in the future, because or what they would like to see from me in the future, because I haven't really taken the whole video making thing all that seriously. And with moving away from that and moving on to other interests, you kind of feel like, should you be attached to this sort of thing or not? And so there's that. What else has been going on? What else has been what else I've been doing? Okay, so we are now in August of 2025. And you know what that means, don't you? So with August happening, and I mentioned this at the start of the stream, TF Nation is going to be happening this year, this month again. Like it always does. And I'm looking forward to it. As you already saw, I've got my sketchbook and everything in case in case I need to be somewhere and just doodle for the next couple of however long during the weekend. And during that time, I've actually been reading because I've been rereading this. It's reversed. So yes, I've been rereading the original Transformers Armada Dreamwave comics, and see, I have a very weird relationship when it comes to Transformers Armada. I have a weird relationship when it comes to the Unicron trilogy in general, and that's largely because I was the wrong age when this particular trilogy came out. I was just starting secondary school. The first time I saw it was when 2002 came rolling in, and then when I saw that, what was it called? The 3-part opening of the show, which was stitched into a little movie that aired on, I think it was Cartoon Network. I saw that way back in the day, and I remember liking it. And then when the actual I was kind of, hello, Alex. Somebody has joined in. Hello, Alex. How are you, sir? Welcome to the stream. You are my first custodian. Welcome aboard. How are you? So what was I saying? Yeah. So back to Transformers Armada. So I was in my early teens when it first came out, and when I first started watching, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is amazing!" And then as time kind of went on, I just didn't like it as much, and I was getting old. I was getting just a little too old for Transformers, and so during that time, I started watching anime. Yeah, I mean, during the early 2000s, there was a big anime boom, and that pretty much dominated all of my adolescence. So that was kind of the thing. But going back onto rereading these, I've read these before, and it's amazing how when you consider in a franchise there are like different alternatives of a thing that you can enjoy, and in something like Transformers, of any toy related thing that you're buying. All right, let's see. So planning to order Skybite sometime this month. Got G2 Grimlock last month, and I still need Iron Fist and Carnivac. Good. That's really awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear. So here's the thing about just to change the subject quickly. I don't really buy the whole toys anymore. I've kind of stopped collecting altogether. Hence why I've sort of moved interests. But I think it's awesome to see that as this franchise grows, more people are still interested in the toys, and that's great. But yeah, I mean that's Alex, which Skybite did you get? Because keep in mind, there's the legacy one from the recent Universe line, Classic line, whatever it is. Again, see, I've kind of that gives you an idea of how much I've fallen out of this franchise. I don't even know what current lines are there now. Yeah. So where was I? Yeah. So going back on the Transformers Armada, the new one. Okay, all right, the new one. Thank you. Yes, thank you. There you go. Yeah, that explains that, because I don't, like I said, I don't know my ups and downs when it comes to the new toy line. So pardon my ignorance. So yes, the current line is Age of the Primes. Okay, right, wonderful. Thanks for the information. I appreciate that. Corrects my lack of knowledge. Anyway, getting back onto what I was saying earlier. So I've been rereading the Armada comics, and it's amazing how restarting this series off again, how much of a different beast this particular version of the series is compared to the cartoon that came out as it was running alongside it. And I have tried, Lord help me, I have tried so hard to get back into it and give it another chance, but I just couldn't do it. I just really couldn't do. I really couldn't do it. I've tried so many times to rewatch, and then just try and reestablish myself thought onto what the hell this phrase is again, what particular part is. But I just couldn't do it. So getting back onto this, I've been rereading the comics again, and you know, the one thing I've always loved about this, you're a big Marvel fanboy. I'm curious, who would you cast to play Jax in a live-action movie? For me, it would be Eric Roberts. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But what I was trying to say earlier about this, the one thing about the Armada comic that I like, that I just don't think gets enough appreciation, is how it starts off as something that's very unlike anything that we saw at that time. Because I mean, look at this, the artwork by I'm trying to remember his name. The art by James Race. Starting this off, it's very much of that style. I mean, if you've ever watched James Race's streaming videos and all the things he does, I mean, he does these incredibly detailed drawings, and I could watch all of those for hours. But then again, I could always get lost in the details that he always does, because they are so complex and so itty bitty. But anyway, starting off with him being involved in the first few issues. Then it moves on to Pat Lee, and then Pat Lee's. I mean, look, say whatever you want about Pat Lee. I don't care that much for him, but he was fine for the other issues he did. And then Guidi takes over for the rest of Armada, and then later on into Energon, and then that becomes a different thing altogether. And so that becomes its own thing, and it hurts rereading this, because knowing how Dreamwave ended up, and knowing that it was unfortunately this comic would end up not the Armada one, but the Energon one. The Energon comic would end up getting cancelled because Dreamwave kind of went belly up for every other reason that you can think of. It's sad, but you know what? Going back rereading it, because there's something going on at TF Nation that I'm really excited about. So, yay! But Alex, excuse me, getting back on what you were saying, I'm a big Marvel fanboy. Who would I cast in a live-action movie? Well, I wouldn't do it in live action. I wouldn't do it in live action. I mean, I'm kind of, and there's a reason why. I'm really burned out with the whole live action stuff that gets put out nowadays from Transformers. It's just not doing anything for me anymore. At one point, I was excited about it, but it just doesn't really do anything for me anymore. So yeah. Hence why. Okay, so a while ago, actually today I rewatched Bumblebee again. And I haven't watched it in a while, and I love Bumblebee. Bumblebee is fantastic. I love Bumblebee, but it really, the trajectory of where those movies were going at that point really really just lost its focus once Rise of the Beast came along. And when that movie came along and said, "Oh, we're going to continue the story," excuse me, but we're gonna bring Beast Wars in. No thanks. I don't need any more pandering of my nostalgia anymore. I'm kind of outgrown that. If you're gonna, I don't care how much of the past you need to bleed in order to entertain your audience. If we're gonna get anything out of this franchise, can we have something that's actually new? Which is why Bumblebee was a really good starting point for something new that the movies should have gone when Michael Bay kind of jumped the ship. And I've only really watched it once, and I never watched it again. That gives you an idea of how disappointed I was with what direction the movies were going in when that movie came along and kind of altered the plans for where they were going from that point on. Modern Hasbro know nothing but fanboy baiting. Yeah, of course. So look, again, I'm kind of, and this is weird coming from me because I never used to think like this, but I don't want the fandom of this franchise dominated by old pricks like me. or anyone else in my age demographic, mainly because the worst thing that I think you could do in a franchise is pander to the audience that are still attached to this, but only are used to the same thing that they've already seen. And so I think if you're gonna do anything in this franchise, you have to make something that's new. You have to make something that's actually interesting, and you have to make something that's actually not been done before. Tell new stories, and don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid of branching out into new territory, just to really get things moving. So yeah, so there's that. Alex, going back onto what you were saying about who would I pick for fucking Jaxus in a movie? I don't know. Probably Grey McTavish. I haven't really thought that far ahead. So my mind is kind of locked into who he's played by in the original, who I imagine him be playing by in the original, if it was ever animated. What was his name? The one, George Kolokos, who played Apocalypse in the 90s X-Men cartoon. That's the default voice that I would pick for Jaxus in a cartoon adaptation of G2. I don't know. So, but I don't know. Let's see. It'll be cool if they dug deeper and used more esoteric series as inspiration. G2 fan pub, yada yada yada, to draw on. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not opposed to the idea of what you use in this franchise to draw a crowd in. If you're gonna draw attention in, then you got to draw attention in. But for fuck's sake, have some have some new ideas to keep your series going. Don't just rely on nostalgia to basically, fish hook people in and then reel them in with the bait, because I think that always gets old. So I think if you're going to do anything new from this franchise, it's okay to cherry pick from past pieces of fiction and reinvent them, but try something new with that. Don't just say, "Oh, let's pander to Johnny the 30-something-year-old man, or whoever, and then who grew up with this franchise as G1, and then okay, here you go, here's this." So it's kind of why I'm really enjoying Skybound right now. Skybound's run right now is probably the best version of what's currently out there at the moment that's geared towards my age demographic. So which is why I said during all of this that I don't want this fandom to be full of cranky old assholes who are in their late 30s, early 40s, and beyond, because this franchise should not just be full of old assholes who can't move past G1. And I'm probably in a very small minority here, where I think that if you're going to make something new in this franchise, you have to try something that isn't just pandering to the older demographic. So, veering the topic back onto Cyberworld, I was kind of apprehensive about it. I was very hesitant, and I was a bit iffy about it, seeing some of the ideas about it. And then I watched the first few episodes, and I was kind of indifferent towards it. Then I watched it, and I watched it a little bit more, and slowly but surely I grew to really, really like it. It's actually not that bad. And I think that if I can like it, then maybe I don't know, older fans can too. Because I really think that if you're going to make anything in this franchise that is geared to children, then you've got to at least let the children of this generation enjoy that, and not be one of these crotchety old curmudgeons that go ahead and say, "Oh, well, you made this thing and you did this to my childhood," and blah 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 blah. Because that gets old really quickly. Yes, new ideas will be welcome too. I just hate the thought that the likes of characters like Clench and Fractal are in effect yeah, I mean, look at it like this. You've got this franchise that's been going on for 40 years, and you've got a library stuffed to the brim with characters that some of those characters have not even been used before. I think if you were going to tell a story, and if you're going to pull in an audience, especially, why not tell stories with those kind of characters, and why not why not try something like that? I mean, Jesus Christ, it would make such a big difference if you just make something with the characters that haven't got the exposure that they would have. Because otherwise, if you're just focusing on yeah, let's see. I'll answer that in a minute. If you're only just telling the same stories of Prime, Megatron, Starscream, Bumblebee, and Shockwave, the popular 5 characters in this franchise that get the most traction, if you're just telling the same stories with those characters, then you're not really doing anything that different with the franchise, except just you're just reheating like the same the same plate of eggs, and the eggs become tasteless over time. Well, in fact, going off the conversation of eggs, it's like reheating old ideas is like reheating the same microwavable ready meal 5 times in a row. If you're going to, and then after that 5 times, the food becomes inedible, and it becomes flavorless, and and then you can't eat it. So let's see. I'm still waiting for someone to tell me the records have started being used in Skybound. Well, okay. Here's the thing about that. I really think once Daniel Warren Johnson has finished his run with the series, and whoever takes over next, fingers crossed that the series will actually go into new trajectories. Because the one thing I'm hoping that it does, I mean, for the next few years, I'm sort of expecting. I know that this is a different series and all that, but I'm sort of expecting this run of this Transformers series to spearhead into a new sprawling adventure. If it does, and I don't know if it will, it'll split off into a big sprawling adventure with something completely different, and it goes off and I don't know, try something different. I mean, the first arc of this series is nearly over, and Daniel Warren Johnson's on his way out. So once he's wrapped up with his inclusion in this series, and then the new writer takes over, we'll be getting something different. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, the recent comics have been fantastic. I love Skybound's run. So I think that one of the good things about this, and why it's so good, is because you've got the series, which, I mean, okay, as much as I didn't really care that much for IDW's run, you got to say that one thing you can't say about IDW's part in this franchise during its run when it did, especially the second half of that. You can't say that IDW's run didn't do a solid job of bringing in a new crop of fans, introducing the new fans to this franchise, and seeing what that has to offer to them and what they will enjoy. Because I think that when you look at the classic IDW series, when you look at the classic series, there are some things that are jarring, but there are also some things about it that are good, and I'm kind of indifferent towards it. I really couldn't get into it, but I don't want to go in too much into it. But anyway, going back onto IDW, Skybound's run. So yeah, Robert Kirkman of Invincible. I've never watched / read Invincible, so I'm completely a blank slate when it comes to this series. I'm not familiar too much with Invincible. I know that it's like the most popular thing right now, but it just doesn't interest me. But I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of curious about what direction Robert Kirkman takes the series for the next few years. If he decides to go off and make what the big part of this series will be something even bigger, or it'll backslide into familiar territory. And that's always the worry, isn't it? If a franchise is either too close to the idea of familiarity and it's too scared to try anything new, or it will try something bigger and it will launch the franchise into a new direction and bring in more new fans. Because isn't that a good thing? So let's see. Bulkhead is being added to the list, but it's a design that's based on Prime. Okay, that's fine. All right. Fine. I don't care. If Bulkhead's being included in it, then whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, if he's included in the story, then I'm kind of curious to see what involvement he brings to Skybound's run, and if it will make it interesting. Because I was never really a big fan of the character of Bulkhead in animated or Prime, so I'm kind of wondering where his inclusion in that story could go. So yeah, I'm okay with that. Works for me. So yeah, Transformers at the moment is kind of in a weird place right now, because right now we're not getting at the moment any more movies, because thanks to the point of one, that completely tanked any way of ever getting a sequel. And there's also news of Michael Bay coming back, which I don't really care that much about. I've kind of, like I said before, I've outgrown the idea of ever seeing Transformers in live action again, because I think that going back to the safety net and doing more of the same thing, that's always going to invite stagnation. And I think that if you're going to do anything in this franchise, you have to be a little bit more open-minded to new ideas, rather than just, okay, so this guy was brought in because he did his thing with the franchise back in the day, and that's good. So now we're going to bring him back, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to restart the whole thing all over again, and then it's all going to be good. See, I can't really feel that excited about it, and I feel bad for Josh Cooley, because starting off really well in his career with Toy Story 4, as much as I didn't like that movie, starting off really well in his career with that, and then transitioning on to Transformers 1 is a big, huge leap, because now he's going on from one franchise to the next. So now doing Transformers 1, okay, the sky's the limit. So I'm kind of frustrated with hearing about how I heard, this is just a rumor, I heard that he might actually be attached to making another movie with whatever he's attached to. I don't know. I haven't really been paying that much attention to the whole rumors thing, because that's all they really are. I mean, if the whole Michael Bay involvement thing actually materializes, and I really hope it doesn't, I'm hoping that maybe somebody else will come in and say, okay, you've had your fun, you've had your involvement, now go away. We don't need you anymore. So we're going to come in and we're going to do our own thing. So yeah. What else? What did he say? I know that the older. Let's see. I know that the. Yeah. Okay. Bear with me. I'm just trying to figure out how this whole thing works. So there you go. I know that the older I get, I know that the older I get, the more I experiment with my collection in new ways. I made Nor an Autobot just to spice things up and make it fresher, I guess. All right, well, that's good, isn't it? Imagine if you will. Hang on, let me just close that down. Imagine if you will, you made Nor, the Sharkticon, an Autobot, and imagine how interesting that would be. Because you don't really get that many Sharkticons that are considered good, unless you count the ones that were in the actually no, that he wasn't in the fucking Energon cartoons. He doesn't count. You don't really get that many Sharkticons that are good guys, and it would be really interesting if there were. So I actually like that idea. You could actually do something really interesting with that. Maybe even instead of making him a shark, maybe instead of making him a shark, you can make him something else. Like, I don't know, kill a whale. Just throwing it out there. But then again, he's not really a shark, so so yeah. Right, so bear with me while I'm just trying to figure out this whole yeah. All right, I'm very new to this whole live streaming thing, and I've just been talking now for 45 minutes. So bear with me if I jump around a lot, and if the audio sounds bad, let me know. Let's see. What's happening here? So admittedly, I was partly inspired by Dreamwave, his friendship with Wheelie. Oh yeah, that's right, because Wheelie was buddies with the Sharktacon in that run, particularly in the G1 run of that series. I haven't read that in a while. I mean, my whole involvement with Dreamwave when it comes to Transformers is extremely sparse. I've really only ever I could only really enjoy the Unicron trilogy of that series in comic form when Dreamwave had it in its control. But the G1 series, very hard meat to bite into, because the jarring thing about that series for me has always been Pat Lee and his weird obsession with doing the dull surprise, which I could never really get behind. Yeah, so I can never really get behind. But you know what? I like the idea. I love the idea a lot of him being an Autobot. Let's see what this is. Ask Michael Bay reserve judgment until we see some behind the scenes info and a teaser drops. Okay, fine, I guess. Like I said before, I'm not really that anxious to. I'm not that excited to pay for a ticket to go to another Michael Bay film again, because yeah. I'm not that interested in paying a full ticket to go see another Michael Bay movie again, and that's partially because I've kind of outgrown the whole thing about Michael Bay, and I've outgrown the whole idea of seeing Transformers in live action, because there's only a certain way that you can do it, and it only seems like the only way to do it is to just go the whole explosion-filled military masturbatory misogyny bullshit, which I haven't got the patience for. I don't have the patience for that anymore. So whether he's outgrown that style of filmmaking, I don't think that's possible, because Michael Bay as a director has always had, I mean, since he started out and to present day, he's always been kind of a frat boy, and that frat boy style of filmmaking has always kind of been locked into his DNA as a filmmaker, and he's never really got away from that. I mean, he knows how to make good action, but he's not a good storyteller. And there's the thing: you can have all the good special effects in the world that you want. You can have all the you can have all of the loud noises you can want in your movie, but if your story isn't good and your characterization is piss poor and everything about the movie is not interesting, then you're just wasting your time, your time, and my time. Yeah, we need a lot more. Just okay, have some explosions, more offensive racial stereotypes, more blatant misogyny, more rampant jingoism, and more fuck priorities with the plot. More of that, and I just don't have the fucking energy for that anymore. I really don't. There was a time I used to enjoy that, and I think for a franchise called Transformers, I think you expect a lot more than just explosion there and an arse shot there. That sort of thing just gets really old. It's like juggling torches, because when you're juggling torches, you kind of expect something else to happen. But if you're just juggling torches for like about 45 minutes, people start to lose interest. So I don't know. Let's see. Maybe they'll rein in this time. The screenwriters have more creative control. It's very much a wait and see situation, but yes, it could turn out crap too. Well, it's not even really that. It's not even really that though. I mean, look, even if you got Michael Bay to do just the direction, even if you got him to direct this movie, and even if you got him to just say, okay, you go over here, we shoot this thing, and then blah 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 blah, and then all this other stuff happens. That's fine. I'm not bothered one way or the other how you do it, but you gotta make it interesting. You gotta make it interesting, otherwise no one's gonna care. So and also, credit where it's due. As much as Michael Bay has done a really good job for bringing in new fans to this franchise, I really think that just by sticking to him and bringing him back, you are alienating other people who also have something they want to contribute to this franchise. Because the biggest problem that I think you could do is if you just bring in the same song and dance routine of the same old filmmaker doing the same old tricks, doing the same old pratfalls, and doing the same old shit again and again and again, it stops being interesting. It's one of those things where you just kind of keep looking at your watch and saying, okay, is there anything else you want to add, or is this it? Is this all you know how to do? What's this? What if it turns out to be a Wreckers movie? Well, that's an interesting question. I don't think that's possible. And I'll tell you why that's not possible, at least in live action form. Now, okay, I don't think it's really been confirmed what the hell this movie is actually supposed to be about. If it's supposed to be a sequel to The Last Night, or even if it's a continuation of Rise of the Beasts. And by the way, I'll get onto the G1, the G.I. Joe movie in a minute. But I don't even really know what the hell this story is actually supposed to be. So it could be anything for all we know. And I don't really think that if you're planning on making a Transformers movie, that it's going to be a Wreckers story and a Wreckers story only. Because the problem is, and this is what really irks me about this franchise a little bit, not many people who are familiar with this franchise know who the Wreckers are, except for, diehard fans like you and I. So if you made a movie about this, then you would have to make it exclusively for, us. The people that actually know who the Wreckers are. And that's a frustrating thing. Again, you're doing something that is, for lack of a better word, pandering, I suppose, to the older fans that know the ins and outs of this franchise and are willing to, just swallow whatever gets put in their mouth. And that's sad to me, because I really think that, that's sad to me, because I really think that in a franchise like this, you have so much potential to go in a different direction, do something new. But I just think that nobody wants to take that risk, especially given how when we saw how Transformers 1 bombed, and it bombed hard, we saw that Hasbro were kind of not willing to, were not interested in making any more movies of the franchise up until at this point. So I don't know. I mean, maybe that will change. But I think the one thing that, but I think the one thing that they should do, more than anything, is wait a few years until for the franchise in movie form to completely die out of the conversation, and then once things have kind of passed, time has moved on. And then somebody says, wouldn't it be nice if there was another Transformers film? Then you can make another one. Wait maybe 5 years. Wait until 2030 to make another film in this damn franchise. Because I think that if you rush into this without thinking, then you're gonna make things worse. You're gonna damage your franchise, and you're gonna damage your audience reputation, I think, because you're just chasing after the money, and you're just chasing after the next big thing, and just worrying too much about how long will it be until we hold on to this franchise until somebody else comes in and buys it, and then they can do whatever they want. So I don't know. I don't really know what to say about that. What does he say? Uh, they could always balance it out, use mainstream faces like RC and Magnus, but also have lesser known like World, Robuster, and Ironfist on the team roster too. Yeah, that could work. I really think that could work. And if you were going to do that, you could actually I really think you could actually make something really interesting with that if you were creative enough, because I think that's the biggest problem with this franchise at the moment in terms of movie form. I think that if you are just leaning too much into the safety net and you're leaning too much into the same old stories of let's do the same old characters and the same old story. In fact, TJ Omega did a video about if you were gonna do the next film in the next few years in this franchise, these are the top 10 ideas you should do, and maybe follow that step. Because I really think that just going back to the safety net and doing the same thing again is just going to really damage things going forward. Because again, if you are rushing into this and you're not putting any thought into the development of your movie, and you're just hurrying up and getting this out as quick as possible, then people will just stop caring. And this franchise needs to do something different if it's going to appeal to the audience that it's geared towards, rather than just chasing after the money. Because I really think that if you're going to launch into this without any real plan, then ultimately what's going to happen is your franchise is going to be wrecked, and then there won't be any more chances to take. So I don't know. It's worth looking into. So that's an interesting question. But right now, I can't believe I've been talking this long, and now I'm talking about Transformers again. This is the one thing I've missed. I've missed talking about this. I've missed doing videos about this. But at the same time, I kind of want to just talk about other things. But at the same time, I'm back into talking about Transformers again because, rewatching these movies again, TF Nation's at the end of the week, and I'm excited. But yeah, getting back into these films. Right now, there really isn't anything on the horizon to look forward to, because that rug has been pulled from under our feet for whatever reason or another. So right now, I've been kind of looking towards fan-made content. If you've ever... Okay, the one thing I'm going to say, if anyone actually watches this stream, I would recommend that you go and watch Transformers Cybertron Falls. And if you don't know what that is, it's a fan-made film that's the name, I think they're called the Name Production Company. They put that together, and it's really good. The recent chapter of that trilogy came out, and it's so good because, and the one thing I'll say about fan-made films, they're very unpredictable, and you never know how they're going to turn out, and that's what's exciting about that. No, see. Transformers Ascension is good too. Yeah. Transformers Ascension is fantastic. Yeah, any fan-made content is always going to be worth watching, because it's extremely unpredictable, and it's extremely you never know how passionate and how interested and how invested the people who are making these things are, and how they're going to make those, and how they're going to get them out into the world. And that's the one thing that I think we need to encourage a lot more of, because right now we might not be getting anything big from any big mainstream releases. So so I think for the time being, fan-made content is where it's at right now. So with Transformers Ascension, and with Transformers Cybertron Falls, and what else? I'm missing a lot, because there have been so many fan-made films, most of them made in stop motion, and some of them are actually really charming to watch. But yeah, there are tons of that at the moment. And I think right now we need to kind of maybe move the focus from whatever gets put out in Hollywood, and maybe move things in the direction of something that's smaller. Because maybe that's the future of Transformers. It's not making anything that's mainstream. It's kind of veering towards something that's smaller. And I'm always rooting for that. I think that right now, in the age of in with the world, in the current state that it's in right now, with the current state, with the world in the current state that it's in right now, we need people that are actually invested in creating something that is entirely their own. And so right now, hang on, I'm just putting this out there. Okay, right now we need like up and coming talents putting their ideas out there and really just making something that is going to appeal to the not appeal to the fans, but the same would just appeal to. I mean, just get it out there. Just make those fan films and make your short movies and do whatever it is you got to do, and then and really just see how it tests with audiences that are just starving for something from this franchise that isn't from a big mainstream film company or a television network that might not be willing to take a risk on something that's big. So I don't know. But right now, maybe that's the direction we need to be going in right now. If that leads anything, and if that leads to anything, and I hope it does. What else? Have you considered making a TF stop motion series to call your own? Well, fun fact. I have done stop motion in the past. I have attempted stop motion a few times. But I wouldn't do anything associated with Transformers. Simple answer. I wanted to just try something else. Hence why I've kind of moved away from doing anything Transformers related, and really just move on to do my own thing, which is I think the better way to do it. I love the idea of doing fan art. I love the idea of doing animation, and I haven't done. So years ago, change of subject. I used to be heavily invested in doing stop motion, and then I either lost interest or I just was too busy to do did other stuff. And one of those things was, like I said before, I do a lot of my artwork these days. So so there's that. But that's an interesting question. Have I considered making one? The thought crossed my mind, but nothing has really solidified. So I don't know. I might consider it. I might not. I love stop motion. It's probably one of my favorite mediums of animation next to anime. And if I get interested, then maybe I'll do it. I don't know. It depends how I feel about it. I mean, these things don't last permanently in my mind, because one day I'm thinking about one thing, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking about the next. So nothing stays in one place. But we'll see. Let's see. What's this? You could do a continuation of the G2 comic, your own take on the eugenesis or an alignment kind of story. Maybe. That's a little out of my depth. That's kind of I would leave that to someone who knows what they're doing. If I was really that interested, and if I really wanted to make something like that, I would need to have my head really properly screwed on to do something like that. Nice as that is, leave it to people that know what they're doing to make that kind of commitment to making something visually. Because, like I said before, moving on, trying new things. So, but you never know. Maybe. So I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about the idea. It's an interesting one. I would love to do stop motion again, but But like I said, I need to really kick myself and do these things rather than just talk about it. Because 1 minute you're talking about something, and then all of a sudden you're talking about the next. Right. So I've kind of been going on now for an hour. 2 people have are watching. So hello. Hope you're all well. So I'll just find that a second. So kind of getting back onto what I was talking about with this, with what direction to go in with this channel, because like I said before, I don't really want to get back into doing toy reviews anymore. That was fun for a while, but I've kind of just lost interest. So, as a suggestion to anybody who actually watches this, what do you want to see from this channel? Because I'm kind of stumped. I want to bring it back, but I don't want to keep doing the same thing because my interests have changed. My attention span is geared towards other things rather than just talking about Transformers. And if there is anything out there that's interesting, then I'd be more than willing to talk about it, and maybe even look into that. Let's see. You could do. Let's see. So you could do comic book reviews, not just TF. I have thought about that actually. I have thought about that a lot. Mainly because I think right now, with the current state of media that we've currently got right now, people are moving away from mainstream entertainment for whatever reason or another, and they're sort of moving directly towards independent entertainment. So you got your independent writers who write novels, you got your independent writers who write comics, you got your independent filmmakers who make films. So you got you've got a whole gumbo of independent talent in some form or another, and they're all looking to make something that's actually new. Because I think that right now, in the current state, with the current state of the world, and with the current state of media and entertainment, you know, talking about mainstream media just seems kind of linear for whatever reason. So I think I don't know, maybe. I'm not saying no to that. I might consider that. So maybe. And what else did I say? How about a fandom of Marvel comic books? Well, funny enough, actually, hang on. I'll go get it. I wouldn't leave the stream if I did this, but I just figured, you know what? I might as well just get it out while it's here. What the fuck is it? Now, I should have hooked this up a while ago, but anybody know what this is? Yeah. It's the Snowball microphone. I haven't used this in a while, and once upon a time I used to do voice acting, and I figured, and I haven't done it in a while because, again, as I mentioned before, moving on to other interests and moving on to other things. Let's see. Hey Chief, is this? What the fuck is this? Hey Chief, is this an open stream to join via stream? No, it's not. So this is just a test. This is just a test stream. Like, okay, anyone new that's joining this, I might do another one of these. I might not. So it depends how I feel. If I like this one and I might be motivated to do another one, we'll see. So thanks for your question. But getting back onto Alex's Alex's question. Would I be interested in doing a fandom of Marvel Comics? Well, once upon a time, I used to do voice acting, and I kind of fell out of it for a while, largely because I just lost interest, and because I was just moving on to other things and wanted to do something else. Hence the art. But yeah, I might not. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know how this how this could go. So it's one of those things that I'd be willing to do. it's not a yes or no, it's a maybe. And that, if I like how the stream turned out, and I might consider doing another one. I might not. I don't know. I don't know. So, but I won't try to drag that on too long, because I want to look at what other people have said. Speaking of Marvel TF, would you consider their Megs one of the more evil versions of Megatron we've got? We've got. Remember, he did the bottom of my skyscraper and turned Earth into an irradiated wasteland. Yeah, the Marvel version of that character is a stone cold badass. So, yeah, I would say that particular version of Megatron, in the early years of the franchise, is kind of a monster, and has done more evil than even his cartoon counterpart. I mean, that's kind of the interesting thing about Transformers when you look at it from what works as a franchise. The cartoon tends to go a little bit more lukewarm than the comics. The comics tend to just go all in when it comes to just chaos and violence and all that shit. Especially the later series when Simon Furman took over as writer, and then when Bob Budiansky left. My coffee's gone cold. But yeah, I mean, the Marvel version of Megatron is kind of a stone cold badass. I mean, he's a evil son of a bitch, getting up to all kinds of shenanigans. And I need to go back and finish reading the Marvel run, because what did I get off reading? I might have stopped reading it around. I kind of put that on hold for a little bit when I got to the part where the headmasters come in. I need to get back into reading that again. So thanks for reminding me, because I need to finish it. So yeah, I really don't know. I mean, so anyway, I'm kind of rambling now, as these things tend to go. So I won't go on too much about it. But yeah, so I'm doing this again. I might do it. I might do another one of these videos if it works. I don't know. So I won't close the stream out just yet. I want to see what other people have said. The few people that have joined. Let's see. Let's see. It's interesting to compare him with the more modern takes, which portray him as a fallen hero and well-meaning revolutionary who's lost his way. Well, okay. I will. I was very apprehensive about the idea of what they did to Megatron in recent incarnations of the franchise, because I could never get behind him being an Autobot. I can never get behind the idea of feeling guilty for what he's done. But, excuse me, credit where it's due. I really like how IDW kind of really fleshed that out in a way that made it, made that interesting. Because that's kind of the point where I sort of fell off reading it. But then I would kind of dip into it again just to see how it was going. So with the later parts of the series, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see how it starts. Megatron's story starts off with him being like either fallen hero or a revolutionary who's lost his way, which funnily enough ties back into Transformers 1, because if you remember with him being with D16 and seeing what Sentinel Prime did and really feeling that hatred when he killed what's his name, Megatronus, that was hardcore. And the one thing I loved about that movie, particularly in the scene where D16 is feeling such anger and hatred towards Sentinel for what he's done, and particularly the voice acting done by Brian Tyree Henry, who really stole the show in that role. When he is just lost in disbelief, and he's just fuming with anger at what D16 did, Sentinel did. And then when he claps back at Orion for basically getting him into all sorts of trouble, then with Orion responding, "Don't you want to stop him?" And then D16 responding by saying, "No, I want to kill him." And that's yeah, we're seeing D16 slowly begin to recede, and Megatron step into the character a lot more. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of indifferent towards how you do Megatron as long as you make him interesting. What else? It helps. Let's see. It helps that Megatron couldn't forgive himself for what he did. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you go down the path of being a violent despot, then chances are you're gonna feel some sort of regret. You're gonna look at what you've done and say, "Wow, I've really made a mess of things, and I can't forgive myself, and I don't expect anybody to forgive me for what I've done." So, yeah, I mean, there are ways that you can make Megatron interesting in any version of this franchise you make. It doesn't necessarily have to be, just make him the, well, I mean, just make it start him off being the villain. You can actually do you could do another origin story, but then again, it's like the whole prequel thing. There's not really that much stakes when you're doing a prequel because you know how the story's going to end with those characters that you've got on your lineup. So that's kind of why I'm a little bit resentful towards the idea of doing another series of Megatron. And you know what? It's a franchise. You got to reinvent. Well, I say reinvent the wheel, but also kind of keep the lineup as familiar as you can to newcomers who are not familiar with what the hell Transformers is. So yeah, and I don't really know how that could go. So we'll see. I'm gonna look at this one last comment, and then I'm gonna close down the stream. But let's see. One thing I appreciate about Brian Tyree Henry's performance is that he wasn't just imitating Frank Welker, and he made it his own role. Yes, exactly. See, okay, this is the one thing that I think Transformers media going forward is probably going to have to do if it wants to make the whole thing feel fresh and new. It's not healthy to constantly lean too much into the past. It really isn't, because as much as I love Frank Welker and as much as I love Peter Cullen, we have to kind of open up to the idea of the fact that there have been and there are other candidates that could fit into those roles and reinvent them and do their own thing rather than just copy what the last two people did 40 years ago. And also, credit where it's due to Chris Hemsworth. He did his best to make the role of Orion Pax / Optimus Prime his own. And that's really all you should do. Have confidence in the role that you're doing and try and make what character that you are doing your own rather than just copy somebody else. Because if you're if you're a newcomer to this franchise, and in a way, look at Transformers Cyberworld. James Alexander, the recent voice for Megatron, he's actually doing a really good job. He's actually, the one thing I like about James Alexander's Megatron is that he sounds like Josh Brolin when he played Thanos in the Avengers. So I mean, that's the thing I love about it is you got Josh Brolin sounding Megatron next to I can't remember the name of the guy who plays Optimus Prime in that show, but he's actually doing a really good job with what work he's got. And again, that's what it should be. I think that you should actually open up a little bit more to the idea of, yeah, we've got new talent, let's use them and let's see them achieve their own work rather than copy somebody else's. So with that being said, Brian Tyree Henry's performance as Megatron was really good. That's all I've got to say of that. Right. And that's going to be it. I'm kind of dragging this on a lot longer than I originally planned because I didn't want to make this too long. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. I'm sort of back, but sort of not really, because I never really left, and I was always here, so I will always keep coming back and doing these things. I mean, if I like this one, And if I like this one stream and it turns out okay, then I might do another one. So I don't know. If I make another stream and I kind of spread it out a little bit, then maybe I might do another one of these, because I like doing these sort of things. But yeah, that's it for me. Until then, everybody, I'll be at TF Nation this coming weekend. I'm excited. Of course, I would be, and I'm excited for that. And I'll see you probably in the next live stream. So take care now. Bye bye then.